first of all, let's talk about how exciting it is to listen to music all day like he does. I mean, it totally motivates my, you know, sense of humor in my life. So how is it for you?
Oh man, this music has been, the music is a huge part of this movie,
Yeah.
and it's a huge part of who Peter Quill is. He's got this great cassette tape that's his last remnants of Earth. It's his, you know, his mother loved sharing all the pop songs that she loved. It's from the 70s. It's a really killer soundtrack, and also a huge part of what makes this character.
Yeah, absolutely. The sense of humor is also what makes this story quite unique and original. I didn't
Yeah.
know anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was the best surprise for me. So what was for you?
Yeah, I think that was definitely something I thought people would be surprised by and would really love. For me, the biggest surprise was just all of the everything that was filled in with CG after we'd finished the movie. So when I saw the movie for the first time, it was kind of the first time I'd seen what these worlds would look like in completion. I mean, we had a sense of it doing the movie, but seeing it completed, that was the big surprise to me. It's just how beautiful it was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It looks so real as well. And
Yeah.
then, you know, creating those worlds in the minds of just one director is just completely crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's insane. Yeah, he's a maniac.
Is it the kind of role where the backstory is so much bigger than the role that it makes you kind of dive into the research to know, you know, who he is, what motivates him, what's going to happen to him after?
Well, I think it's important to not be. And we got very lucky with Guardians of the Galaxy because it's a lesser known comic, and so we're not beholden to any laws or rules or anything that has been created in the comics before, because it's not such a ubiquitous title that people are going to say, hey, that's not what Peter Quill would do, or, you know.
Yeah.
We're informing people who Peter Quill is. This is just another chance to, yet another incarnation of the Guardians of the Galaxy, as but we're doing it the way we want it to be done, and we're not stuck telling it exactly how a comic is. So in that way, we were kind of lucky, and all the way that what informed me of who this character is that he was 9 years old, and he left Earth, and so in 1988. So what did he learn in those 9 years? It was all those pop culture references, all the movies that he loved. The heroes, his heroes were, you know, Han Solo and Marty McFly, and you know, Kevin Bacon and Footloose, or you know, that's how I figured out who he was.
Yeah, he lives a lot in his imagination
Yes.
and in his past, and that's what makes him quite endearing and was doing the wrong thing for the right reason, or the other way around. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think so. I think that's right.
Yeah, that's right. He was really nice. So let's talk about the costumes and how they motivate the character.
Thank you. That's such a good thing to talk about. Yeah, those costumes are unbelievable. Just beautiful. I remember the first day that I put on that jacket. That particular jacket is this long red leather jacket, and like when it tells you how to walk because it's heavy and it sways in a certain way, and you know, when you wear it, I remember looking back. They say the clothes make the man, and it's true. Those clothes, I looked back at myself in the mirror, and it wasn't me. It was like Peter Quill staring back at me. It was the first time I really felt like I had become the character.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you know, you kind of seem to like him, and he likes you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a good blend.
Yeah, look at him. He's cool. He's cool.
Cool is an understatement. So let's talk about being in good company in this film. I mean, obviously, what really makes it work, and it's like the characters, that every actor has its own, you know, comedic timing, and every actor has its own personality, and they kind of blend together without blending, if you see what I mean.
Yes. Yeah, they're so vastly different. I think like there's a commonality between them all, but they are so different. I mean, you've got Rocket, who's like a feisty little creature. There's nothing like him in the galaxy. Has a quick temper, and then you've got Groot, who's very funny and innocent and sweet, but also incredibly strong and deadly.
Yeah.
You've got Drax, who's this big maniac who wields a knife and will murder you without even thinking about it. You've got Gamora, who's so difficult, and like everyone is so different, but in a way they're all the same. And that they're orphaned, they're running from something, they've lost something, they're losers. And when they come together, it's that common thread that really allows them, or you know, tells them that they have to be heroes, that it's time for them to step up and care about something enough to be heroes.
Yeah, and the audience believes it because we kind of go through the journey with them.
Yeah.
It's another good aspect of the film.
Yeah, I thank you. I believe that too, because it's not just like explosions and you know, action sequences butted up to one another. It's a real movie and I think the most important thing in movie is relationships.
Yeah,
and this is really focuses on those relationships.
I do believe that the music we listen to when we're children and the movies that we watch when we are younger motivate the adults we are. Do you agree with that, and how did that influence you as an actor?
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. The music and movies that we watch as a young people totally influence who we become, and that's why I felt like I was perfect to play Peter Quill, because he and I are the same age and born in the same year. And so in 1988, I was also 9 years old. So it was easy for me to go back and imagine, who would I be if this is all I knew? From the time I was 9 years old on, I had been left in space and allowed to be an adventurer. What would motivate me? And it was those movies. It was those things. Like, I could totally picture who I would be if I was allowed to just fill in the blanks and be heroic, you know? Or like create this big persona for myself. If I could create my own Star-Lord, it would look exactly like this Star-Lord.
Yeah, you felt him.
Yeah.
Who did you listen to when you were a kid? Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder?
Yes. Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Madonna, Tina Turner, really whatever country music was on the radio at the time, because my dad listened to country.
Dave accused you of loving country music and then he can't listen to it.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
This is where me and Chris, really clash in personality.
That's true. It's true. I do. I love country music, and he does not.
Somehow country music in space, I'm not too sure that it would...
I don't know. If we do Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it'd be kind of neat to have the Highwaymen on there, a couple of Johnny Cash songs. That'd be pretty sweet.
Hey, you can do whatever you want with Peter Quill, I guess.
Yeah, maybe so.
And we get so attached to the characters that we really want to know what's going to happen to them. We really want to know, where it's going to go with his family background and all these things. So there's so much to Peter Quill that we really have not seen. Right?
Oh, there's so much to Peter Quill that you haven't seen. And I think, oh gosh, I hope we get an opportunity I hope that you do get to see that.
Is it the kind of role where you start reading a lot of the comic books after the role and, you really want to know?
Yeah, I think it's definitely that kind of role that, after doing it and certainly after seeing the movie, I want to dive back into the Marvel comic universe and just start mining for those stories and maybe give suggestions to James about what we could do if we were going to do a sequel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Are you also that kind of comedian? Obviously, you've done a lot of comedy, and comedy is a very collaborative kind of medium because, what you input can end up being, great in the final product. So are you very collaborative as an actor with your directors?
Yes. Yeah, I certainly was on this movie. I mean, collaboration is collaboration, so I'd like to be collaborative. Not all directors are collaborative. Not all directors will let you be collaborative. James was. He, and a lot of the comedic stuff and the stuff that's a little left of center in terms of tone, comedically, so the stuff that sets this movie apart. One of the things that set this movie apart is that comedic tone, and that was something that we figured out together. We were partners in that for sure. I'd come in and pitch an idea, and he would like it or not like it. We'd kind of discuss it, and that was definitely part of it. And
there's so many different kinds of comedy that it becomes a challenge every time to do something completely different.
Yeah.
Or, being voice, being, a sitcom, being a film like that. Are you comfortable with every medium, or is it always a challenge for you to do something new?
It's always a challenge in each new genre I attempt to do is a learning process for sure. I think in terms of the comedy, that stuff comes easy. The thing that we didn't want to do was we did not want to make a spoof. This is not a spoof, it's not Spaceballs. It's a real movie, and the comedy had to be based and rooted in character. And so that's stay true to character. We didn't ever sacrifice character for comedy, which can happen sometimes. No, that didn't happen in this movie.
And the same way, Kevin Bacon and Han Solo are his heroes. Who were yours?
Kind of the same. I mean, we were the same kid, Me, a little bit more sports guys. I was a little bit more into sports than Peter Quill, I think. Like, Ken Griffey Jr. and Michael Jordan and, Steve Largent and
then Johnny Cash.
Barry Sanders. And then, of course, Johnny Cash, Garth Brooks, and all the country artists. And also professional bass fishermen and professional hunters. They were kind of big heroes to me as a kid. Yeah. Wow.